That was not good. That was not good either. It was better. Hello, everybody. Welcome. All right. So, this is now for me to examine things a little bit deeper. I mean, deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. I don't feel like doing it by myself. That's why I like to watch AB doing this, because now we have to go back to the very basics and we cannot let go. The statements from the three people of interest who were there, those are the ones. And I wished it was not only him. Is there anything new from Janie? Has she spoken since? The hermit crab, as somebody says? No, she hasn't. Right? I don't know. Maybe she has made a couple of posts on Facebook. By the way, feel free to send them to me, especially if something stands out. When it comes to Daniel, he overloaded us at one point with statements, but, well, the ones he wrote out, I'm not sure. I like to get the unexpected right now. I like him to react to somebody. I like him to stand there and not be able to sit there for hours and think about what to answer. Guess what? Guess what, people? Julio learns. He is learning. And he's learned a lot more from me than in private. He's learned a lot from me, guys. But that's okay, because that only gives us a little bit more of a challenge. And as all of you are learning more and more about analysis, now it's time to be a few steps ahead of him.
Sad. It's not just sad for Jack and Lily, but it's sad for everybody who knew.
Not just. Oh, you mean just, wait, you mean minimizing? You are minimizing. It's not just sad for, that wouldn't be enough, right? It wouldn't be enough for this to be sad for Jack and Lily, because they're not really that important. So whom is it sad for? When somebody says just, it's a comparative term, people. Not just Jack and Lily, but there is a bigger picture, a more important picture in the back of his mind. Everybody who knew.
Jack and Lily.
Who is everybody? You mean the other kids in school? Because the kicker here is that while you try to make it sound like you are the spokesperson for the community and concerned for the whole community and how kids miss Jack and Lily, they are worried about Jack and Lily. They don't know what happened to them, be it the children or the parents or the teachers. They don't have an idea. They hope that Jack and Lily are okay. They're not thinking about, well, poor me, I don't have my friends here, Jack and Lily are not there, I don't get to see them anymore. No, people are concerned about, he is completely disconnected. He is completely disconnected from what the rest of the village, if you will, thinks about the case and feels about the case. He cannot relate anymore.
Well, isn't that just interesting? Why are you sweating? Isn't that interesting? You didn't even like Jack and Lily. Wade says you beat the kids, smacked them around. So did the people at school. That was their concern.
It would also be interesting to know what exactly his two children said when he told his girlfriend, and he's a leaker, by the way. You get the right person into. If I was female, I would already have a lot more information about it from him directly. Trust me. But with females, he leaks information. He wants to speak. He wants to free his mind. He is the type of person when there's something on his mind or he's upset, something worries him, he needs to talk about it right away. For other people, it's very easy to shut themselves off. Look at Malaya, the stark opposite of his. But you send the right person his way and say, all she has to say is, how was your day? So, you know, 90% of my listeners are female. Feel free to do it.
But old Danny just had the same excuses publicly as he did to the Children's Aid. There's always a reason why a child has a black eye, isn't there, Dan?
Even a hermit crab lives in a cleaner home than Janie. I saw a hermit crab earlier. Which ones are they? They're the ones on the beach, right? Yeah, I think they're pretty clean. By the way, I'm warming up slowly here and I like it because I have so much that's on my mind whenever I think about these people, man. Oh my gosh, I hadn't done videos for a while, meaning I'm overloading. Don't think that I can shut this off and only think about it when I watch a video or hear or read something from these people. No, 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 no. Sometimes I need a comedic interlude from what's his face? Derwood, who says, he announces his departure, but yeah, right.
Cool J, his own children said he beat Jack and Lily. Well, yeah, they used the ABUSC term. Reportedly.
What's up, guys?
You calling him a shapeshifter, Tambourine? Yeah, he always likes to tell you what you think you want to hear in that moment. I'm a little concerned that you're generalizing all of this nonsensical statements. You're twisting them, not even getting them right. It's avoiding speaking directly to even your emotions, and that's rather obvious
Janie
here.
Coming. Let me see Janie real quick because.
Oh, gross. Listen, there's something incestuous going on here. Of something that you don't even want to name, that you can't name or explain. Anybody. Oh, that'll give you nightmares. That's
okay, Janie, go ahead.
It's nightmare fuel right there. No sex toys. Oh, gross. Listen.
So that came to her mind. Why? Why did she say there was a? Did somebody claim? Maybe she read somewhere that somebody said, "Oh, she probably has a lot of those." I'm not sure, but it's stuck to her mind. This is where she goes linguistically. No sex toys. Interesting, right? Hey, Fluffy, show me the sex toys. You know where they are.
Listen, there's something incestuous going on here.
By the way, there's something like emotional incest, right? I'm not going to get too much into this, but that's when you. How do I describe this properly? By definition, emotional incest, also known as covert incest, is a form of emotional abuse where a parent or caregiver relies on a child to meet their own emotional needs in a way that is inappropriate and typically reserved for an adult partner or spouse. This dynamic blurs the boundaries of a healthy parent child relationship and places an unfair burden on the child. Never give children adult problems or burden them with adult issues comes to mind, but a lot more is included in this one.
You're the one who's introducing sex toys. These things that are standing out to you,
Yeah.
that's leakage, Janie. Why would it be anybody's business if there was?
I wouldn't want to know. I wouldn't want to know. Not connected with her, at least. Especially, I mean. I wouldn't want to know what she desires and what she. I would not want to know.
You just seem like the type to need them? Or you're well known in the community to have these? River Rat, what a quinky dink that all the supposed responsible adults were drifting in and out of sleep that morning. Yeah, in the middle of the morning, as a replacement for what actually really happened. That's how desperate they are. Like, that's not an actual excuse. And for you to revert down is really like snubbing your nose at excuses in the first place. Like, you really haven't given it an excuse for all of this. You were just drifting in and out of sleep in the middle of the morning. Come on. Hardly. But it's not important. What's important is that people see that you're lying and have lied to police with the intent to mislead them. Someone needs to tip her off Pink Cherry over Temu disposables she's been getting clearly. You think that's a disposable top? Like, I don't even know who that would look good on. I mean, I've never seen a garment so hideous in my life. I don't think even Claudia Schiffer could make that
I think I listened to this before.
top look good. There's no making that top look good. It's not. It's like what somebody did with their rolls that they fucked up in length that are hanging around the shop. They just attached a zipper to them, sewed up a couple like shop. They just attached a zipper to them, sewed up a couple like you remember the craze back in the 80s, like windbreakers. It's almost like making windbreakers again. Really don't have to do anything. And try to make them cool. You know, it probably keeps mosquitoes and black flies away. The same reason that the Japanese paint their cows like black and white stripes, because when mosquitoes, you continue to go on and troll the audience like this was it's just part of the process. In a position other than in an attempt to try to rule and clear their.
Okay, so this was sent to me.
Sources have told me this week. Now that the cat's out of the bag, I have one policing source who said, yeah, I couldn't tell you before, but now that the cat's out of the bag, we were told in 2017 that he was incoming as an agent. And I said, well, how can we prove that? He said, well, there was two of us there who were told it. And but he was supposedly in jail. He didn't get parole till 2018. And then I checked with someone else in the community and found out Griffin was actually here in Nova Scotia in 2017, living at his grandmother's place in Spring Hill. And then he goes back in 2018, gets parole, comes back here. It makes me wonder if both he and Wordman were agents, because he's been there since 2018. Wordman wasn't wrapped up at all in that 2-3 year period. What's really good, and I've talked to other agents this week, former agents, who said they've been in situations where there's been all their friends turned out to be agents, just like you're saying. Like 5 of them. They thought they were working on the case alone. No, there was 5 of them working on the case and vetting each other. So
I think there's often, many, the police have sources all through the criminal community. Most people are about as solid as a soup sandwich. So, I mean, there's no shortage of informants in their world. I think.
Right. And they need to first, of course, care about a case. So if they care about a case, I'm pretty sure they have a mass load of informants that are ready. So to the person who sent this to me, yeah, thank you. Let's see if there's more.
I think,
Next thing.
yeah, and if you read my book, Inside a Police Informant's Mind,
If, okay,
or phony warrants, image.
oh my god. I'm looking at some of the titles of A Balance's videos, man. Skin flute solo. Oh my god. Let's see.
People don't like him because he's a simp for Daniel, the obvious suspect here, the guilty parties. He's a simp for them, right? And
Yeah, you know what? I want to first mention that I have not said a lot about the case of the Tappy murders, right? Spencer and Monique Tappy. These people seem genuinely happy. And facial language is something I pay very, very close attention to. So these two, when you look at the picture of a couple, there is tension visible when it's present. Sometimes you may have to allow yourself to simply look at an image and allow yourself to feel whatever energy comes your way. Well, this is not in any type of manual, but you know what? Tunnel vision is something I don't have. I have to always go by the statements. But whose statements I'm going to look at is very, very crucial when it comes to saving time and getting straight to it. And so the brother-in-law, Rob Misler, right? He's also the guy who photographed a lot. When he said, well, the guy in the image is probably just somebody walking home from the bar and maybe he doesn't know that this was the ex-husband's walk. Maybe, but still, there's always a possibility that somebody actually suspects something but was told, don't voice this, don't talk about this. And we have to mark every sensitivity that comes our way. That includes the statements from the brother-in-law who gave several interviews. When he was asked, well, I hope it's coming up. This is from Banfield, NewsNation.
Shocking twist in the double homicide of an Ohio dentist
Not
and his
Banfield,
wife that
the other
happened
one.
just before New Year's. A suspect now charged and arrested, and we are learning he was previously married to one of the victims. Michael McKee is now...
So 9 years later, and maybe he saw how happy his ex was and felt like she doesn't deserve it. I think that's a very, very strong possibility that he thought, well, how can this be? That she's shining, she's happy. And this seems to be one of those very rare relationships and marriages that simply works as it should. And this
facing
exists.
2 counts.
It can exist, you know what I mean? I mean, most of us make at least a couple of bad choices within our lifetimes. And many times we normalize, well, life is not always easy and things happen that are just very because it's usually people who are negative that talk the most. People like Janie. I'm gonna be alone. I'm a hermit. People like that. Yeah, but you see, Janie, people like you also make certain choices. They lead you down a road where things are not easy, and it's actually better for you to be alone than with somebody and relive the type of drama that probably shaped your life, and with that also Daniel's life and Justin's, but Justin got out of there. So this is a case that got my attention very, very quickly, because just for myself, whenever I see pictures of couples and it's related to either the disappearance of a child or somebody was unalived, or, God, I hate this stupid word, murdered, and somebody was, then I want to get a feel for things and move straight into the right statements from the person that I think at that particular moment is the one that is important to pay attention to. So I do have an eye for these things. And chances are, if you're listening right now, you may too. Now, none of this is, this is not in the manuals of statement analysis, but sometimes we got to allow ourselves. Because I believe there are God-given instincts that we have and intuitions that will lead us down the right road. And there was nothing of tension in between these two. It is one of these rare couples where everything seemed to just work out. They were the center of the party. They had both professional lives. They were making good money. Not only was he a dentist, he was the supervisor for his boss. So he's maybe not the type of person to start his own business, but he is a type of person that is reliable, gets along with people, who has skills, who you want to put in charge. So they had money, they were in love, obviously, whatever that may be, to everybody, right? Because what is love? So I try not to use these terms, not because I'm afraid of being sentimental, emotional, or what have you, but because it lacks a definition that is agreed upon by all of you. What is love? Ooh, this needs to be a title. I need to make this the title of this video. I'm doing this with my mouse, by the way, in case anybody wonders or assumes I'm doing something else.
Of murder in connection with the deaths.
That's the dude. And yeah, he is the one we saw walking. And he's a medical doctor, but guess what? I think that he saw his ex-wife being so happy, and his life was not going anywhere good. And so 9 years after the divorce, I wonder how much he stalked them or what.
Of Spencer and Monique Tepe. Now, he is Monique's ex-husband. The couple was found fatally shot in their Ohio home while their 2 children and the dog were unharmed inside. Police were able to zero in on him as a suspect because of
At least he didn't hurt the children.
surveillance video in the neighborhood around the time the couple was murdered. Now, from those videos, they tracked McKee's vehicle, finding it in Rockford, Illinois. McKee is expected to appear in court in Illinois tomorrow, Monday. A new development tonight, a community coming together to honor Spencer and Monique for their funeral that took place today. And for more, we are joined by Jennifer Coffendorfer tonight, law and justice contributor.
Okay.
Only showing traffic-related tickets in the past. He has been charged. He has not been convicted. Are you surprised by the previous
He couldn't evade all.
No. This is from 2 weeks ago.
More than 120 people are currently searching the woods behind me here near Gairloch Road in Lansdowne Station, continuing the search for 2 children who went missing in the area on Friday morning. There was...
Okay, so I don't think there's anything of importance right here. I know I missed it, unless there's Daniel. Is that new?
That till my last day on this planet.
They have never treated it as a criminal investigation, although their major crimes
Oh,
unit
it's
is
old,
involved.
right?
was important to ask Mr. Martel if he had anything to do with the disappearance of Lily and Jack. I asked it outright.
I 100% did not.
Oh, that's on May 18. Interesting, right? I never heard this one before. I saw it written. I saw it in print. I didn't hear this one. But now, wow. Let me hear more.
Station, continuing the search for two children who went missing in the area on Friday morning.
There was, well over 100 people there at that time, right off the bat, the first weekend, doing searches.
We are going to keep searching. That's our job right now, and no one's stopping. We have lots of officers here on the scene that are parents themselves, and we can certainly feel for this family, and our priority is to bring these kids home safe.
The thing that strikes you most about Lansdowne Station and kind of that part of Nova Scotia when you go there are two things. One, it's very dense woods, very dense, thick woods. It's very remote.
Yeah, and I knew from the very beginning that claim, that seed planting, they were trying to plant the seed. They were trying to plant different seeds. The seed of they will talk to anybody could have taken them, and the seed of, well, they just walked away, so go look. Buy yourself some time, right? Go look. I don't know. They just maybe walked away. Who knows? No. In this moment, whenever there's an investigation, you have to be stern. You have to say, no, this did not happen. What else you got? Well, they could have been taken by any... What do you mean? What do you mean? Their coats are still in the house? You mean they walked out in almost freezing temperatures? You see, there you have to be really, really quick. Not be accusatory and say you killed Jack and Lily. They did it the wrong way, the exact wrong way when it came to interrogation. The way to do it is to hold their feet to the fire and immediately point out inconsistencies. And then get them to admit this makes no sense. So when it's being admitted in a reliable manner, then you can also be able to tell if somebody knows for a fact or somebody simply concludes based on the woods being so dense. Yeah, you're right. This makes no sense. Or somebody can say, well, we know that, and they're indicating deception, that they try to deceive you, that they don't want to be so direct in terms of pointing to any of the other options, because they couldn't linguistically commit to the possibility of an abduction either.
Mode. Two, there's no cell signal. So communications in the traditional sense are limited. You have to find alternatives. We knew.
Yeah, blah, 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 blah. I'm sorry, but there is not that. Never mind.
A presser was coming up, and that morning driving down, I thought
The presser is important, right?
it's one of two things. They found something, which will be a huge deal, or they're calling off the search.
As of today, May 7th, the active search efforts to locate Lily and Jack will be scaled back.
We asked the question, what are the chances that these kids are alive? And Staff Sergeant Robert McCammon kind of gave us the first inkling that this isn't going to end how we want it to.
Based on the experts and the review of the facts, the inclement weather, the time frames, and their age, the likelihood that they're alive right now is very low.
It's rare, I think, to see a parent go through losing their children.
Right.
And when it happens, a lot of the time they're in shock.
Okay, now we're getting there. Now we're going to get there. That's from Global News, by the way. And I guess they're sharing a lot now that hasn't been shared before.
And Daniel was no different than that.
So the head of the helicopters.
Oh, God. Idiot. Don't interpret. Is that her?
Down, I thought it's one of.
Don't interpret. People that interpret other people's emotions, you need to disregard. Completely. Idiot. I'll hear this part.
The inclement weather, the time frames, and their age, the likelihood that they're alive right now is very low.
It's rare, I think, to see a parent go through losing their children. And when it happens, a lot of the time they're in shock. And Daniel was no different than that.
So the head of the helicopters and head of the drones and stuff like that.
Did he say that several times? Ahead of the drones, ahead of the head. Yes, he wanted to beat them to it. He wanted to get to the pipeline, remove evidence before the helicopters and drones would spot him. And that's exactly what this language reveals. That's where his state of mind was at the particular time.
Screaming
Stuff like that. Screaming.
loud as I can. Just until my throat hurt.
I believe your throat was hurting and there was screaming at one point. And if you lost your voice, now you have an excuse for it.
Running through water that was up to my waist.
Running through water. Man. I'm telling you one thing, man. I want to know what was in Janie's washer and dryer. And I want to know on Friday morning, what did Daniel wear? I have no doubt that you were in water up to your waist at one point, but I believe that was in the ocean area. Or in the river area very close to the ocean, where you believe the tide is going to take the bodies into the international waters. So some of it he may have said, hey, this is going to explain if you figure out that maybe my clothes are in a washer and maybe I'm wearing something that's still, this is the question. These are the questions that need to be asked and focused on. And Wade doesn't remember, unfortunately, what he was wearing or what he had on or if he was wet. By the way, did Durwood tell Jordan to stay away from Daniel? Or did he tell Daniel to stay away from Jordan? Interesting, right? I wouldn't be surprised. I think Durwood is waking up, that he gotten himself into something that he cannot get out of by confronting people in a bar fight. This is a little bit bigger. Jordan is not a dumb guy. I tell you that. He is not. As for his father, that dude wouldn't know what I'm talking about if you explained it to him for hundreds of hours. He wouldn't know the difference between forensic linguistics and what people like Dali Vision do. He wouldn't know the difference. To him, it's all the same because he has only one gear. Gear stupid is his only gear. Just dumb through the world. Anyways, he's not important other than as important as he can be if he points us in the right direction and stops with the deception. Because Durwood, I'm telling you, you're not bright enough to fool people or fool your way out of anything. The only thing that you can do right now is being completely honest. So thank you for bringing this to my attention, and this may have been on a Balances channel. Yeah, there are things I'm missing, guys, and again, feel free to use the comment section and the live chat to fill each other and fill me in as well. So anybody watching this video, we take very, very much pride in our comment section and keep garbage out of there. Meaning that people who troll around all the other channels and pick up rumors and want to bring them here, that's not going to happen. I'm not a dumping ground for other people's attempts to get people to watch and make things up. I'm not, that's not me. I'm not the one, okay? So please feel free to look at the comment section at all times, because sometimes the comment section actually has all the good information. Because a lot of the people that don't really have anything else that they are interested in watching, because, or not much else, they're coming here. And they pick up the good information. They may watch some segments where 90% or 80% is not important, but they happen to be able to pick out the stuff that is important. So if this is you, sure, listen to whatever you have to listen to get to the goods. But if you are the mindless type that just sits there and watches and absorbs and believes whatever anybody else says, for example, that rumor, I don't even want to entertain any of these rumors, because we need to focus on facts, people. We need to look at the right people. And that's Durwood now, who he has actually told us and let us know. So he knows a lot. He knows. And I guess he's done with his own fabrications about Malaya's family. He's telling us now Daniel did it. Surprise, surprise. He's backed into the corner. He has nowhere to run. If he told Daniel stay the hell away from Jordan, that would make sense, Maybe he's finally no longer saying, well, that's my boy, go fight. No. I think he realizes you fucked up your son's life, Durwood. Because to you it's only a game. And you revealed it to us. This is only a game to you, dude. And sure, partially you were seduced by people who, don't have anything important to say, who used you to promote your nonsense to get viewers. And you fell right into the trap, sure. And you enjoyed it so much, the attention. I don't know. It's not a game, Durwood. It's not a game. And of course, it's not a disappearance in terms of, what people would think or expect for a disappearance to be. I believe you. And as for the IP address, yeah, one of you has told him he didn't even know how you can tell if two accounts come from the same person. Thank you for the comment, by the way. I'm not surprised that he is running with. By the way, this is so stupid. And he's telling us mainly responsible, not only responsible, mainly responsible. Daniel Martel. There are other people involved, at least in the cover up. Yes, I agree 100%. What is Daniel's IP address? I don't know that. How do you know? Well, of course, if he clicks on something, if I say, check it out. Here's an article about you, or here's a link to my website, and there's a video that I want you to show. If he clicks on it, I'll be able to tell what his IP address is. But Dermot O'Grady is an idiot. And I know a lot of people don't know what an IP address is, but I'm saying he's an idiot for other reasons. He wouldn't know how to figure out what an IP address. He wouldn't know anything, even if you gave him Daniel's IP address or the IP addresses of the fake. He wouldn't know what to. Come on, man. He picked this information up from you. And say hi if it was you who left me the comment. Please, in live chat. Of course it's visible, but please repeat and tell us again. And I'm happy that you informed me about that. So since it's a public comment, because it's left on my public, on a public post, anything, by the way, that is said in the member section, I don't repeat. But this one is Brandy in Indy, and she says, funny he mentions IP address. He asked during a live chat how anyone could prove he, Darren, has sock accounts. I responded to him IP addresses. This was on YouTube. And I have the screenshots. Brandy, send them to me, please. Then he runs to FB, stating, this fake accounts will be traced back to Daniel. You idiot, Derwood. You idiot. You moron. You stupid ass. These people have stalked my comments from the beginning of this, and I'm not surprised by this, by the way, because you are steadfast in what you're stating. And all I can say is take it easy on yourself. Thank you for the comments. And here I'm making sure, of course, that nobody attacks nobody. And so do the moderators. We are very, very, very strict here. So we don't allow, if you have an important comment, we don't allow there to be 20 comments from people trying to shut you up or overshadow what you just said by stupid stuff. We don't do that. And it takes a lot of work. And it reduces the amounts of comments, sure, but you know what? It's quality, not quantity. These people have stalked my comment. Yeah, I think you're doing this because you are not moving away from what you're saying. Look at some of these YouTube channels that even started out okay in the beginning. The moment they're confronted, they play both sides, people. There's a reason that I don't mention certain channels anymore. So yeah, if every time you backtrack and you suddenly support Daniel, of course you're safe. Or rather, no, they're not going to worry about you. So it's wonderful that you don't move away from your path. But it also doesn't mean you always have to mention it. Be easy on yourselves, because believe me, some of the people closest to Jack and Lily are very easy on themselves, right? Don't stick your neck out too far. Don't do that. If the people who are supposed to do it also drift from one side to the other, in and out, hot and cold, lukewarm for the most part. Don't be hot or cold when others are lukewarm, because you will be a target. So that's why I'm focusing a lot on, a little bit of comedic value. I guess, if I feel like it, but I hardly feel like it, because to me this is a serious matter. And I only focus on the victims, not any of the family members, even when people say, oh, you're an advocate for the... No, I don't go by that. I go only by what happened to the victims. That's the only thing I care about. Because the other ones, their opinions change and they drift from one to the other. And I don't have the energy for that. So please do me a big favor. Fight back if you can, or protect yourself to begin with. The source of almost all the fake news falls. Nope, I know for a fact that Daniel did not come up with false. No. It's a game to Durwood. And you decide Daniel is it. Well, you are in the way and you made yourself in the way, put yourself in the way. And now it's time for you to talk because Daniel won't. So you could have just disappeared, but you wanted to have the last word in 3 different messages. And in this one, you are telling us that you're hiding valuable information. And we want it. We want all of it. So I don't care who sucks up to him. If you are in a chat where he is, ask him the right questions. And if they don't let you or it doesn't work, don't be in those chats. Only be where you can benefit when it comes to knowledge. So,
And as soon as I got back, I wasn't allowed back in the woods until
as soon as I got back. Interesting, right? One more time. To my waist. Okay. I'll figure out more about this. And as soon as I got back, I wasn't allowed back. As soon as I got back. Now, the question is, when he came back, and we know from his language that when he returned from the ocean area, it was the sun already was up. It was already daylight. Where did he go? Did he first go to Earth to drop the ATV off there? Did he go to his Uncle Ron's house maybe? Got back from where? Of course, he wants us to think that in these 10 minutes or 20 minutes, when the children were reported missing, that he did all the culverts, all the dirt roads, everything ahead of the... Yeah, right. Did you make it back to your home after a long night of driving the ATV to the ocean area, getting rid of 2 little bodies? Did you go straight to Earl's, your father's house? Did you go up north or northeast? Did you go there? Big Island Beach, Barney River. Your dad has property up there. Justin is up here somewhere. The pipeline boys are right in this area here. Or did you go towards Truro? It would take more gas. It would take longer, but you had the time to do it. You had about 3 hours. You had 3 hours time. You would have been able to make it either way. Where did you go? Where did you go after 3:40 a.m.? The last time? Sorry, it was 3:10. 3:10 a.m. was the last time that the black car was heard. A silent car was heard later, but I don't believe that was Daniel. That was just some stranger driving through. Remember, even Belinda drove by there. And she claims she didn't know Jack and Lily was there. I mean, it sounds strange to me now because everybody talks about how nobody ever drives through there. Well, these synchronicities, they are possible, but you know, which is it? Is it a busy street? Are a lot of people traveling down there? I'm sure they are during the day if you add it all up. But what I'm telling you is that if Wong heard a car that didn't sound anything like the car that he's familiar with and states Daniel owns it, it could have been any car, especially if it's a silent one and he wouldn't be able to hear it approach from the distance. 3:10, and the sun came up and was already up 3 hours later. Remember the statement Daniel made in the beginning, the sun was already up. Remember it? The video is called The Sun Was Already Up, Daniel Martel, Statement Analysis. 7 months ago, people. Find it, watch it. I'm going to turn it into a post later on. Sunrise in Lansdowne Station. The sun came up in Lansdowne Station, Nova Scotia at approximately 6 a.m. ADT on May 2nd, 2025. Or, as is claimed here, is 5:58 a.m. The statement was the sun was already up. That would have been after a few minutes, right? He had about 3 hours. Did you go straight home, Daniel? Did you stop at your dad's house? Which is it? See what I'm saying? See what we need to figure out here? This is where Jack and Lily lived. And here is Brad Wong. And here is Earl. Did you come back from the ocean and drive straight there because you did not want to be seen on that ATV? You wanted to get rid of it. You were pressed for time. And the sun was already up. Why are you saying that? Because that was important. I cannot be seen. The sun is already up. Let me get rid of this ATV right now. And did you talk to Ron then, your uncle? Because here's Earl, here's Janie's property, and then there's Uncle Ron. And of course you have the pipeline area, then you have the power line area going this way that could have led towards Truro, to the Fundy Basin. Yup. At 6:10, 6:20, did you make it to Earl's house or to Ron's house? And by the way, if you say Ron called Janie 6:15, please verify it when you make claims like that. Thank you. And then, well, a few hours later, police was called. Where were you in these hours? Did you already go down to the pipeline, Daniel? Did you spend a few hours there? And did then you decide, I'm going to drive to my house because now police is going to be there and you want to drop off the car, a car that you were using, because you don't want it to be seen parked close to the pipeline where you had to search. You see, if he gotten there at 6:20, maybe this is where he changed his clothes. I want to know what you had on that morning. And I want to know what you had on Thursday evening, the last time anybody'd seen you. Like when you were on camera. Because I don't think you changed between the time that you and the kids went to, what was it, a pizza, Tim Hortons, or wherever you went to that mall. I want to know what you had on that time. And then I want to know what you had on when you were first seen on Friday morning. You see, we spent so much time talking about what Jack and Lily were wearing. I want to know what Daniel was wearing. How about that? Does any of you have information here? I want to know that. Because we got to look at the possibility that he didn't even make it home. Until when the police was already there and they told him, hey, who are you? Okay, stay right here. Don't go back into the woods. He didn't want to park where the police was parked. He was parking in the marsh area, right? On a neighbor's property. Similar to Justin parking his car right here where the cabins are. Far away. Very far away. 200 yards, or what was it, or 300? Was it that much? Maybe not. Yeah, I think so. Why so far away? It wasn't too crowded here on the property. Where is it? Right here, huh? Yeah, man. Sorry. Let me get this a little bit. Here's Wong, okay? Casa de Wong. Can I? Okay, now let's get down. Oh, this is cool. If this was a more professional video, I would make this really, really good. But that's, of course, not my main concern when I do this. But I think you can realize this is the house. And where did he park? At the pig gate? Okay, this is not... This is not important, right, people? Is this Old Matheson Road? I think so. So, this is Lansdowne Lake. You see, I always get back to it, people. No matter what. I don't get in gear quickly sometimes. But once I'm in it, I can speak about this for hours. And all of the different possibilities and questions, I can bring them up. And don't listen to people who claim the kids are in the lake. If people draw these so-called conclusions, know what to expect from them in the future. Jack and Lily have been taken to the ocean. This could be here. Big Island Beach. And by the way, suddenly everybody is a maritime expert. I don't know if the bodies would have been washed back to shore somewhere or not. I would like to hear somebody who really, really knows about these things. So of course, the Fundy Basin, the muddy waters. Remember Daniel's speech about the muddy, his analogy, but he said what? The key is to get to the waters, through the mud. And there's nothing but mud. But here is sort of where the water, well, where's the water? Where does it begin? The international sea. You see? Is this Google Earth or is it on my end? Well, should I end this now, guys? Let's hear the rest.
Through losing their children. And when it happens, a lot of the time they're in shock. And Daniel was no different than that.
So the head of the helicopters and head of the drones and stuff like that. Screaming as loud as I can. Just until my throat hurt. Running through water that was up to my waist. And as soon as I got back, I wasn't allowed back in the woods until a man dressed in a military outfit said I could go back into the woods.
Yeah. You see, he says back into the woods. He was already in the woods. Or behind what would have been a passage through the woods to the pipeline. He wants to go back. He talks about all the culverts, all the dirt roads, but now he's talking about back into the woods. He is telling us there's unfinished business, so maybe he spent 2 or 3 hours already at the pipeline. Only at the pipeline. Only at the pipeline, people. That's the only place he cared about, the pipeline area. And 2-3 hours were not enough for him. Where are we at here? Okay. Only at the pipeline area, people. That's the pipeline boys. We need to know more from the pipeline boys. This is the power lines, and this is the pipeline area. This is where everything was found. The footprint, everything is in the pipeline area. What were you doing there? You were only searching here? All your pipeline boys together were only there? Again, one of my videos that I may have to get, okay. The pipeline boys 4 months ago. And look at him, people. Look at that fake crying.
I felt like it was important to ask Mr. Martel if he had anything to do with the disappearance of Lily and
Yeah, exactly. And again, this is from May 18. Interesting, right? 2 weeks and a couple of days after. I've only seen that in writing before. I'd like to talk to her a little bit more. Let's hear it. And I know the answer. You know it too.
Jack. I asked it outright.
I 100% did not.
I 100% did not. It's not a reliable denial. Let's make this very clear. And I'm not going to go back into this. Again, there is a video on that also. And mind you, 7 months ago, I already pointed it out. What I pointed out was the percentage part. He is responsible, but he doesn't feel like he's 100% responsible. Watch the other video, guys. It's called No Reliable Denial from Daniel Martel, 7 months ago. I'm getting into much deeper detail.
And I will hold that till
I will hold that till... Now here it comes. For how long? For how long? Let's see what he thinks is going to happen.
My last day on this planet.
Exactly. Listen to this one. He didn't say until the truth comes out. He didn't say until the children are found. He didn't say until we have all of the answers and there is no need for me to make any claim. He says until his last day on this planet, because he believes, he is convinced the children will not be found. He knows the international sea. He knows the tides. He is convinced that Jack and Lily's bodies are never going to be found. O.J. Simpson. I will spend the rest of my life searching for the real killers. Because if somebody says, I will not stop until the children are found, there is a goal. If you've been watching my videos, you know all about that. When there's a definite goal and the timeline of something that indicates confusion or clarification or claiming or denying something, meaning there's an ongoing confusion within the population, that is supposed to end when the goal is met, and the goal is met when there are answers. The goal can be to find the children alive, but that goal would end if you find the bodies of the children. Then the original goal that you may have, the goal of hope, will be cut short and will be eliminated and taken over by the finality of what you have just found out. But that's when it's supposed to end. The confusion is supposed to end at one point. But he knows until the last day on this planet, he will have to defend himself because the answers are not going to be there. This in itself, if this was all the only statement I had from him, I would immediately know he knows what happened to Jack and Lily. And that he is at least partially responsible. More likely very close to 100%, which is why he feels the need to indicate that it isn't 100%. Not all the way. He's telling us, I am responsible. Of course, this is my opinion only. He is telling us he is responsible. But he doesn't feel all the way responsible. He may feel like, I'm not a bad guy. If Malaya disciplined the children and kept them in line, it would have never happened. This is what he may feel. What happened to Jack, Daniel? How did Jack pass away? How did Jack die? And what happened to Lily? Is it true the bathtub was filled with water? What happened to her? Drowning, strangulation, I don't know. What happened to her? What did you do, baby boy? You see, I can't move away from you. And that's because of your statements. And now you're getting better at it. But your old statements are still there, dude. You know what I mean? So thank you guys for watching. But wait, I'm gonna have to play Janie's Got a Rake one more time, right? Yeah, why not? End it on a good note.
They have never treated it as a
And there's more coming, by the way, new versions.
criminal investigation, although their major crimes unit is involved, which is very interesting. The RCMP doesn't really explain why, and I think that leads the public to be very suspicious as well.
It had blown up at that point, and it wasn't just taking our information.
Oh, I cannot listen to her. Our information? Oh, yeah, you're important.
It was twisting lies on Facebook. These groups were popping up about the
You moron, you moron, you moron. Is that her?
harmful. It's harmful to the families and communities who
Shut up.
are obviously looking for legitimate tips and information. I saw
Either idiotic or deceptive.
community.
Shut up. You too. Miss Stooping Delight, and she also knows what happened, in my opinion. Great representatives for two missing children, right? You know what? These two look a lot more somber than the others. And of course, Daniel, I believe you know what happened. Not just you know what happened. I do believe that at this particular moment, you feel very different. And Logan, also, knowing what happened, in my opinion. It's more than my opinion, but let me just say this for now, as a placeholder for something that would take too long to explain. That duping delight is smacked off of their faces by the presence of people remembering Jack and Lily, whom both of them know are no longer with us, in my opinion. You know? This is facial language right now. No matter what I said about Logan in the very beginning, and rightfully so, at the end of the day, if you give them time to shut up, and all they have is themselves to look at, and they're no longer on a defensive, their facial language lines up. Thank you very much for watching.
My name is Danny Dan. I'm a love machine. You have earned my love and you belong to me. I tell you, honey, I am what you need. This is destiny. You belong with me. So come on, sugar, come and take my hand. You're the only one who can understand. Come to my trailer, we can live the dream. Danny Dan and my mom. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. Now, sugar, honey, baby. When you get jealous, don't you worry, hun. You will always be my number one. I can't help it that I'm in demand, so just ride with me. Come take my hand. Don't forget to tell me what you wear before you go out. It will show you care. Don't listen to the sea of lies. Just trust me, babe. Look me in. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. Now, sugar, honey, baby. We can't control what the people say. They don't understand. My love is here to stay. So come on, baby, on this roller coaster. With you, Nicole, let me be your toaster. Sweetheart, that I know other girl You deserve my love. You deserve the world. You don't need to feel insecure. You're my number one. I never felt so. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never
He
gonna
has a
take
beautiful
me
voice,
down.
Simon.
I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna take me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna take me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna take me down. Now, sugar honey, baby. So many steps that we would take together. Watch the setting sun and make it through the weather. I'm Danny M, so let's take it slow. I miss your smile, I thought you should know. We'll think about all the mountains climbed, from the setting sun to the next sunrise. Come on, sugar, take it step by step. Your precious rose, I got no regret.
You should know.